Aquaman, number 29. Dan Abnett writing, and I'll just say Sejic on art. I've been digging this. You said you were going to read this. Did you read it
I did not get
yet?
caught up.
You're not caught up
Yeah,
yet.
I've been
Um,
busy.
that is completely fine. Although I still think you should, because
I'll get caught up.
it's been real good. Obviously, the art's still. I don't have to mention the art at this point.
No,
The art's been
that's not it. No.
fantastic. This issue was very much continuing all the threads from the previous issue. Kind of neatly splits into like three things again. You have Aquaman with Dolphin, and they don't have any action this issue. This is just kind of them in the aftermath of what they did last issue. But they're sitting, and Aquaman's like, "Oh, you're disappointed that I'm not going to be the king that you want me to be. That I'm not going to save Atlantis like you hoped I would." And Dolphin, of course, not being able to speak, she draws Superman's logo. She uses her, because her powers to, like,
Okay.
manipulate the bell elements and stuff. She basically makes Superman's logo, and he's like, yeah, I know what that is. And then she draws Batman's logo, and she draws Wonder Woman's logo. It's like, yeah, I know them too. They're, heroes on the surface. And then she draws Aquaman's logo, and he's like, oh wait, so you're saying that because I'm a hero like them, that I should do all this and all that thing? And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to be king. Atlantis has basically decided it doesn't want me to be king. And then she draws a little crown above Superman's logo, and he's like, no, Superman's not a king. He's a hero. He saves people, but he doesn't want to rule them afterwards. And then she sort of rubs out the crown, and then looks at him and sort of smiles, and he's like, okay, I get it. For someone who doesn't speak, you actually have a lot to say.
That's what it
So,
says.
so it's basically just, she's like, no, I don't want you to be king. You don't have to be king. You just have to save us from the evil king. And, we can sort all other things out after that, but you just need to be a hero. So it's basically just convincing him that he's going to be the Aquaman. He's going to, step up and try and take care of business. So that was kind of his whole bit in the book. It was a couple of great little scenes, and that's all it was, but it was good. And I think that Dolphin not being able to speak actually leads to a lot of sweet little moments with how she communicates, and that's fun. But you've still got Mira and Tempest that try to break into Atlantis. They're fighting some of the from the Silent School,
Okay.
and the big thing here though is that, in terms of plot, he basically grabs one of their pendants, which will let Mira in at the end of the issue, and it's a little 50-50 because it's kind of damaged. But the main thing that actually comes out of the whole thing is that we find out why he's so against using his magic, why he's so against using it. It's because when he was training to use it in the Silent School, there was a girl that he was in love with, and he basically lost control and killed her by accident.
Oh man.
And it's really, and Mira even apologizes for asking him to help. She's like, "Oh, if I knew that's what had happened, I might not have asked you." So I think that's interesting. We might explore that later. That's why he's so against using his skills, because he lost control and someone died because of it, especially someone he cared about. So I think that's a cool thing. My favorite part of the issue though is actually the Volko and Undine stuff, because if you remember last issue, I was telling you they were going through the treasury, and they were like dodging all the ghosts of like Atlantis past, who, if you know their name, they leave you alone. But then they got to one whose face was all missing, so you couldn't tell who it was.
Right.
So the ghost was chasing them around, and then he eventually guesses like 5 names, and he gets it in the right in the last one. But the ghost ends up actually being helpful. He's like, "Oh, like I'm stuck down here. I'll take you to what you're needing, and I know all the other ghosts. I'll get them all away if you just fill me in. If you give me all the information, give me the news. What's the gossip? Is that asshole? Oh, damn, I forgot. Orm. Is that asshole Orm still the king? Kind of thing. It was so fun little things like
Great.
that. So he takes them down, and they're there to get the what looks like Aquaman's trident, I think, or at least a trident. But that was their whole thing. But no, it was just fun, the banter, like him asking all these questions, and Volko kind of like, "Oh, hey, old buddy, I've not spoken to you in so long," and it was just a fun little time. But the biggest thing of this show though is the ending. So if you remember, Aquaman was held captive briefly by Crush, who's like the kingpin of the Ninth Trade, down in the slums where they were, and he basically comes to see King Wrath. He's like, "No, I want to see King Wrath. I have information." And Mark, Mark, of course, who's been loyal to
The head of
Aquaman,
the.
yeah, but he actually is the one who seemingly tried to kill Aquaman at the end of the previous arc. That's what put this. That was the big end of that arc, is that he turned on Aquaman for the new king. That was a big deal. And Crush comes to Mark and he's like, "No, I've got something to tell the king." It's like, "No, you have to tell me what it is before I let you through." He's like, "Well, Arthur, the previous king, he lives." And then there's this great panel, this great real last page where Mark's like, of course he is. And then he kills Crush. Mark is in on it. Mark knows he's alive, and he intentionally left him alive. That's the big ending of this issue. So that is, it was pretty cool. It was a really good ending. It was just the way he sort of stared at him silently, and then Crush is like, oh wait, oh crap, and then Mark just rams his fist through his mouth, and it's pretty glorious.
That's it. Good for Mark.
It had like 3 or 4 plot threads that were all just continuing from the previous book, but it had the big ending, the big cliffhanger ending. So it's kind of getting to what will probably be the last 1 or 2 issues of this arc, and we'll see where it goes. I'm really curious to see what we do with Atlantis in terms of like, who does he appoint as the new king if he doesn't want to do it himself? Like,
right.
You know, like where do we go with that? So I'm curious. I think one of the solicits actually told us. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head though. That's okay. I'm happy to be surprised again. I'm happy I forgot. It's fine.